I would say अगर आप रोगे तो आपकी स्किन खराब हो जाएगी. You would be shocked to know that anti-aging products are mostly used by underage people. Customer is your king, customer is your bread and butter, customer is your god.
What product you regret launching?
That why is nobody talking about the mental health of founders? Your skin smells your fear. And for Gen Z, there is no stickiness. Absolutely, like for a product that they love also, they will still want to try something new if there's an offer. First thing, उस पे लिखा है बड़ा fragrance free, still they will smell it. That's the first reaction of a consumer.
What do you think is the next big thing in skincare?
That only and only application of creams will not cut it. You have to move ahead. These 50 plus women are buying traditional old age brands. They are not trying new brands. New brands are being tried by the Gen Zs and millennials. I'm like, what? You're 18. Why the hell are you using retinol? Just because of Instagram.
Welcome back to yet another episode by Just Because. Today we have Malvika Jain with us from Cereco. Cereco is India's first psychodermatology brand, and let's just get straight into it. Hi Malvika.
I'm Muskan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much. So Malvika, how does it feel to be in such a cluttered market and still have zero direct competition?
Okay, so I mean, it feels great because I think as cluttered as the market is, it's also great opportunity. It's a large pie, and even if you manage to get a small chunk of it, you're good. And yes, so far I don't have direct competition, so to say, in the proposition that I'm doing, which is psychodermatology, but yet the category that we're operating in, it's still, we have competition there. So I think while we have the first mover advantage for the proposition, we're also in a space which already has many brands that are doing such brilliant things. Yeah. So it's both sweet and spicy, honestly.
So what is psychodermatology? Can you explain it to like a 5-year-old?
Okay, to a 5-year-old. Okay. Yeah. So I think for a 5-year-old it's not even relevant, but I'll try. So psychodermatology is basically psychology plus dermatology. If I was to tell a 5-year-old, I would say, अगर आप रोगे तो आपकी skin खराब हो जाएगी. So it's as simple as that. Like your stress and anxiety are causing more skin issues than you realize. And a lot of our skin problems like our acne, pigmentation, skin sensitivity, all these issues are actually triggered by stress and anxiety. So psychodermatology is the science that studies the connection between the skin and the mind. And Cereco has developed proprietary psychodermatology formulations, partnering with the psychodermatologists from around the globe to offer consumers solutions in the form of cleansers, toners, serums that are that will have a mood enhancing impact, a stress reducing impact, and thereby have great impact on the skin.
Got it. So I'm assuming when Shalini Pasi said that I don't hold grudges because it affects my skin.
So true. She said it, absolutely, 100%.
So I was reading this survey the other day that India's 50% of the Gen Z population feels anxious or is stressed, and 61% of Gen Zs has a recurring problem of acne.
Right.
So do you think psychodermatology is somewhere a part where it connects the bridge?
Right. So glad you asked this question. So absolutely true. Stress acne is a real concern. It's not a fad. I mean, stress leading to recurring acne is actually a real problem. So I always try to explain the layman like this, that your acne and pigmentation and other skin concerns are only symptoms that show up on the surface of your skin, with stress and anxiety being the real cause of the problem. So absolutely, and more so for Gen Zs, I feel whether it's mental health concerns or it's physical health concerns, they're most prone to it. So with the rise of mental health concerns in Gen Zs, there's also a rise of skin issues, skin concerns in Gen Zs, and the demand for better skin products. So absolutely, and psychodermatology is a step in that direction to kind of educate the masses that Your topical creams will not do it, will not cut it. You need to also be looking at a more holistic kind of approach, yes. So yes, psychodermatology definitely is a step in that direction.
So, supposedly, like, if I'm feeling anxious or if I'm feeling stressed, so what percentage does that hold in causing acne or in causing some skin problem? Like, what percentage, like, what is the weightage?
Okay, so I think stress and anxiety are major causes. So, of course, it's like a vicious loop. So, if you have acne, you'll start stressing about it.
Yeah.
That will cause more acne and that will cause more stress. So, it's basically like a vicious loop. And what essentially happens is, so when you're stressed, your cortisol hormone tends to rise up. With the increase of that, with the increased secretion of the cortisol hormone, it leads to more oilier glands, it leads to more inflammation, it leads to more skin sensitivity. So it leads to almost anything that you can think of which is not good for your skin. All of those things, all of those reactions get triggered because of the trigger of the cortisol hormone. So yes, stress is a major contributor to the flaring up of any skin issue or the recurrence of any skin issue. Yeah.
So, I've known that you studied law and you came from a totally different direction. So, how is entering like the business route and the skincare direction? Like, what challenges did you face majorly?
Right. So, yes, I mean, I was a practicing litigation lawyer in Delhi for almost 5 years before I ventured into entrepreneurship. I won't say it wasn't difficult. It was very hard. I took almost 2 years. I spent 2 years in R&D, meeting up with experts from the industry, also finding validation for my concept. So we also conducted a pan-India market research before we ventured into this. Finally, before we started putting money into this, I conducted a pan-India research with an insights agency to first, I think, get validation for the concept because the concept is so niche. And then once I had that kind of reassurance that India is ready to accept this kind of concept, we then partnered with multiple R&D experts, including scientists from overseas, psychodermatologists, cosmetologists from very reputed conglomerates, and yeah, so that's one part of it. And then of course I had to upskill myself as well. So I also studied multiple courses. I did like a pre-MBA course from Harvard, and I had already done my master's in law and then practiced litigation, but I had to kind of get over it and think from a more business perspective. So just to kind of brush up my skills, I studied this course. I read up a lot on cosmetics. I did a lot of research for 2 years, and yeah, I mean, that's how we kind of then started the brand.
So, if someone is, currently in the same position as you are, going in a totally different direction,
Right.
What would be one piece of advice you will give to them?
So one is that I would say that, see, career transitioning can happen at any time. I mean, I get this a lot, honestly, where people ask me about transition management. So I tell them that one thing is that it will never feel like the right time. It will never feel like, okay, now is the time when you're supposed to do this. So just go for it. Take the plunge. You won't know until you try out. Honestly, I'll tell you, Muskan, when I started this, so I went to my boss in my law firm to resign, and I told him that, listen, I want to give a shot at business. So he told me that, he asked me my age, and he said, okay, you're very young, go for it. I mean, you have your degree, you have your experience, and in case it doesn't work out, like, come back and do law, just bounce back.
What was your age?
So I was 26, I think, at that time. So yeah, so I was, fairly young, and I was like, okay, makes sense. I'll just kind of give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, then I'll bounce back into my legal career. And that was the plan. I went with that mindset that I'm going to give it my all, but I have a backup. So for people who don't even have a backup, I'm saying, like, who immediately want to start an entrepreneurial journey, I'd say that don't be very scared of the failures. Like, if you study any brand, any successful brand also, it would not be short of failures. There are so many stories where they've literally risen from the ashes. They hit rock bottom and then rose from there. So yeah, I mean, it's completely possible, and you just have to put your heart and soul to it. And also, there is no easy way out. You have to work hard. I mean, that's for any field. I don't say only for entrepreneurship. So there is no shortcut. But of course, it's not impossible, and it's scary, but it's also very, very rewarding at the same time. So it's quite thrilling.
I was seeing that you were also a part of D2X. So how was it? Because I'm very curious about that.
It was a great learning, honestly. So I got in touch with some very, very good founders, other industry folks. So it was a great experience, great learning experience. And given that I don't come from this background, it was, I think I got to learn a lot from other fellow founders in the cohort. And it was also like, I think it felt like people probably outside consumers or onlookers would feel that, okay, so that competing brands are talking to each other, but it's really not like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Everybody's helping everybody because we're going through the same problems.
I was reading about it that the person who actually works hard and who is in the industry knows that what the Samwala person is going through. So they understand the journey and they want to help the person.
Absolutely, so one day I was in fact talking to like one of the founders, and he mentioned that why is nobody talking about the mental health of founders? Like everybody is just discussing that what's your CAC, what's your AOV, and what's your retention like, but nobody is asking like how are you doing? Because there are so many things that we're doing in a day, and founder to founder, when you have a discussion, you tend to talk about those other aspects also, like listen, hey, somebody in my team is troubling me, or one of my vendors not answering, or my products are not launching on time, or the season is out, I don't know, I have inventory left over, what do I do about it?
Points are the same.
Yeah, it's same for everybody. Sooner or later you have to navigate through that, and it's good to have a soundboarding system. So in that sense, like, I think it was a great opportunity to get that network of people who are in the same journey as you.
Yeah.
So you're not alone. Your challenges are not unique.
Yeah, everyone is going through the same shit.
Thing,
Yeah. So I talk to a lot of founders and a lot of people in this industry, and one problem everyone faces a lot is hiring.
I know, it's my raw nerve.
I don't know.
It is my raw nerve. But okay, go on.
So any hard-learned tips or any hard-learned advice on hiring?
Okay.
For any fresher?
Okay, so see, I think one big challenge that everybody is facing is that now the majority workforce in any brand is constituted or is composed of Gen Zs.
Yeah.
And I think the challenge for employers with Gen Zs is that Gen Zs usually come from a very comfortable background, from a place of entitlement. So they know very clearly, like, in terms of what they want and what they don't want. And and they also have their personal priorities set very straight. So it sometimes becomes a little bit challenging, but I don't know, there's no easy way. You have to keep trying also, but I also feel that times have changed now. You cannot run like a traditional corporate to retain a team. Like, with the new generation, I think corporate culture also has to evolve. So for example, we acknowledge that sick leaves may not only be for physical sickness, it can be for mental sickness also. So if you're not just like feeling up to it one day, then that's okay, you can take a sick leave. So we have that kind of transparent conversations where my team has come up to me and told me, like, I'm just not feeling okay, I'm just feeling anxious today, or I'm just feeling, because that needs to be normalized, because that's what the Gen Z generation is going through. So you need to have that kind of transparency and openness in the organization also. And just kind of keep up with the generation, and that's all.
So like just be open to the Gen Z.
And right, because I mean, and they're also, I think if you give them the opportunity to talk and just always, or to give input and not just always give directions, it can also really be good for the company. Like for me, honestly, like some very young girls in my brand, they have some brilliant ideas, and that's probably because they feel that they have that space to just walk into my office and tell me like, listen, this is what you should do for the brand. Absolutely. And that shy, and because they come from such backgrounds, you know, they're not coming from that generation where girls were not allowed to speak in the house, or even kids. I mean, the decisions were only taken by the parents. Today in our households also, we have almost an equal say as our parents in any family with big family decisions. So that's the kind of autonomy they expect at workplace also. So which is what at least I try to offer. I always tell anybody, any candidate I'm hiring, I always tell them that, listen, one is that we work in a very horizontal kind of structure. There is no set hierarchy per se. So, and my office door is always open. I always tell everybody, like, any kind of issue, you're most welcome to come in. And I make sure to have a monthly one-on-one chat with my team, personally, with everybody in my cabin, to just ask them, like, how you doing? Is anybody troubling you? Is there any problem? Is there anything for the brand outside your vertical that you want to make suggestions for as a consumer, as a user, as a brand member? So this is like your time. I'm happy to hear your feedback personally. And I've realized like it solves for so much and retains the team. It gives them that kind of solidarity with the brand. So yeah, I think just these small quirks that you keep doing kind of helps.
So coming back to Cereco, I know that you are very particular on your brand color even today.
I try to make public appearances in my colors.
Yeah, so can you share like why did you chose this particular color lilac, and what importance does a brand color hold?
Right, of course. So the reason for choosing this color was, one is that it's a very, very soothing color, and lilac is instantly associated with peace, and you know, again, anything soothing and peace of mind basically. So that's the reason we wanted to choose a soft color which is not very feminine, but is also like kind of denotes holistic beauty as soon as you look at it. So that was the reason to go for that. And also it's a little bit of a unique color because this is not purple, this is not blue, it's not grey, it's a mix. It's a mix of all those. So which is why we chose the color. And yes, having said that, I think a brand color can build great brand recall for a brand, especially in this category where most brands are either, you know, color cosmetics are beige, skincare natural products are green, other brands are pink. So, I mean, there are very set color codes. So, to break from that, it's good to have a unique color, and that can really build brand recall. So, every time anybody's like, I've had these instances where my teams just like we're in fests and my teams in just purple, like not even no branding, and people would just walk up to them and say, oh, are you from Cereco? So that's happened, that's really happened. And where we've had this one incident happen, so somebody on social media just tagged us with a Cereco product, and they were wearing purple, so like a lilac color, and they said like wearing Cereco today. So you get it, like that association is already kind of building. So I think color can have a great, very, very strong brand recall. Like if you look at Puma, you instantly think of red. You know, so if you think of McDonald's, you again instantly think of red and yellow. So again, like color can definitely have it's a great asset to use for brand recall. So that was why we made sure to keep the color very consistent in all our communication and packaging till now.
Pretty loyal to it.
Yeah.
So, Malvika, tell us, everyone talks about the bestseller products. I want to talk about what product you regret launching.
Regret launching? Yeah, I think it's too soon to say. I mean, the brand is so young. Honestly, I have no regrets about any product.
But like something, maybe you wish that it could have been done a little bit differently.
Yes, I'll tell you. So I think that when I launched the brand, I launched with 9 SKUs, and all 9 were vitamin C products. So maybe I could have taken a different approach by either launching with lesser SKUs or launching with more variety. So variety as in, instead of all being a vitamin C range, it could have been a mix of two, different benefits or different ranges. Because even now, like, to match that portfolio has not happened. Like, still my biggest range is my vitamin C range. So I think that is one thing that I could have done better, now that I look at it in retrospect. And other than that, I also feel that I entered too many categories together. So I started with an entire face range, a body range, and a nutraceutical range. So maybe I could have held off one of those for later. Although, of course, I mean, now we've understood how we want to navigate through it, and we want to build each category. But yeah, I mean, that's something that I could have done differently, and maybe could have had good or bad, returns. I don't know. But that's something that's crossed my mind.
So basically, you're saying that if supposedly a fresher is beginning to launch their brand, they should launch with limited SKUs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's easier. Absolutely. Makes more sense to start small and yeah, see, like, get the market response, get product validation, get concept validation, yeah, get all of that, and then start expanding. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to go.
Is like Cereco planning to enter the color cosmetics or the beauty range, because skincare brands tend to go in that direction sooner or later?
Okay, so see, I think Cereco for now doesn't have any plan to get into color cosmetics, and yes, that's true. I mean, it's like forward integration for a skincare brand to enter into color cosmetics, because you already have the infrastructure and capability to do, like, your 50% of your job is already done with skincare.
You have the community build.
You already have, like, exactly, the community is also very similar and whatever. So because for me, like, now to get into a hair care category or to get into a makeup category would require more research, because I spent a lot of research. We are very, very science backed. So all my skincare products come with that disclaimer that all clinical trials, clinical studies, consumer validation, all of that has been done on the products. So for me to enter any new category, I'll have to spend that amount of time, effort, and money on that category also. So I mean, that's for my brand, but exactly, so it depends on what your value proposition is and how well you can integrate across category.
Any particular brand you really look up to that has done this integration of both segments beautifully?
I think Plum has done a great job. I mean, in my category, I think that they've done a great job. Like, with the Plum body loving range, it completely blew off, like, immediately. It was an instant hit for them.
They launched perfumes.
Yeah, so they've done it beautifully, and yeah, I think they've done a great job there.
Got it. And what do you think is the next big thing in skincare?
Okay, psychodermatology for sure. It is the now and future of skincare, and I think in India, okay, apart from that, anti-aging is going to really blow up in the form of microneedling, like stuff like microneedling, cryotherapy. Cryotherapy is already picking up a lot with the ice baths and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, all these, I think, physical treatments and yeah, I mean, that's anti-aging is going to be a big trend in skincare going forward.
So many people doing ice baths nowadays. Like every second day I'm seeing someone's stories doing an ice bath. Like, I don't understand what is the hype behind it.
It is good. I mean, I personally also really favor cryotherapy. So it is great for your entire body. I mean, if you're doing an entire body ice bath or a face ice bath, like a face ice dunk. So it does do wonders to your skin if you do it regularly, in terms of anti-inflammation, reducing redness, and anti-aging, collagen synthesis. All of that is kind of, it helps with all of that. So that's what like consumers will realize, that only and only application of creams will not cut it. You have to do like, you have to move ahead, and that's where these things like micro needling, all these your jade rollers and face sculpting techniques. So these are going to be I think the future of skincare. Yes.
As you mentioned, anti-aging, I was reading this survey some days back that the space for anti-aging brand is actually very needed right now. Like it needs to be filled because women over 50 years doesn't really have a brand to hold on to. They have the money, they have the resources, they want to invest in something that will help them from anti-aging, but कोई अभी इतने new brands pick up नहीं कर रहे to only cater to that niche. So even I am reading about it that it is a very untapped market right now.
Like I have something to add to this. Like what's interesting here is that you're absolutely right that there is a white space there. But if you think of it only from a business perspective, then who are the buyers of a business? They are not these 50 plus women. These 50 plus women are buying traditional old age brands. They are not trying new brands. New brands are being tried by the Gen Zs and millennials. And even if you look at anti-aging products, you would be shocked to know that anti-aging products are mostly used by underage people and not by people who actually need it, because they don't have the awareness, they don't go online, they don't shop online. So yes, of course, like women 50 plus probably need a dedicated skincare line for them. But then that, I don't know, like what the more business, I'm curious to probably understand what the business model would be, because
like we have to target the younger ones because they can give to their mothers, their sisters.
And no, like my this happened with my own brother. He is 18 and he was using retinol. I'm like, what? You're 18. Why the hell are you using retinol? Just because of Instagram. He read some information that how it's going to do what, but this is misinformation. So I mean, but you also see like how easy it is to sell to Gen Zs. He just read it and he bought it and he started using it.
Yeah, and it's so harmful.
It is, and he doesn't know the repercussions of it. So yeah, I mean, it's easier to sell to this generation who's mostly always online. Yeah, compared to the women 50 plus women, yes, who still go for TVCs and billboards and that kind of word of mouth kind of marketing, relying on that to really change. It's like basically changing a habit.
Yeah.
Because they're habitual to using a certain kind of a routine, certain products. Like you will see if you do a survey, I'm sure like most women in that age bracket would be using whatever product they're using, they must be using for the last decade or so.
Yeah, 100%.
So to change a habit now, like to change that habit, you really have to like work hard. And for Gen Zs, there is no stickiness. Absolutely, like for a product that they love also, they will still want to try something new if there's an offer. Yeah.
I remember when I was still in my school, I used to use products that my mother was using, and थोड़े से उसमें anti-aging होते थे, मेरे को पता भी नहीं होता था. Like when I got some brain of mine, I was like, what am I doing? Because parents have that particular regime, that routine, and they don't like change. So
of course,
whatever. And we talked about the product you regret launching. What is your bestseller now?
So my bestseller has always been my calming gel pen. So Cereco's calming gel pen is actually a very unique kind of a product. It comes in a very unique packaging, and I think the proposition for the product is also very different. So it comes in a gel kind of a format, and it's very handy where you can like kind of carry it around. And it's clinically proven to reduce your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, up to 70% with regular usage. So we got a lot of clinical trials and even consumer trials done for this product, and the response has been great. So so that product you can just apply on your wrists, you can apply on your like pulse points, your temples, and with regular usage you will kind of realize that there's been a substantial improvement in your mood and reduction in your stress. So that's been our bestseller consistently.
And it was the product you experimented and like you give it a shot with.
That's a product that we experimented with, and but it got a great response, luckily for us.
and like I saw that you recently launched lip balms in the whole, you like got into the lip balm wave. So with personal care brands, there are always products what you want to launch, like the calming gel pen, and then there are products that the market demands. So how can a brand find the balance between the two?
I feel one is that, see, as a business owner, I mean, when we say the brand is actually the founder or the owner of the brand. So, as a business owner, I think you cannot have biases. You really cannot have biases because like, it's not that the customer is always right. Like, customer is your king, customer is your bread and butter, customer is your god. He's not just your king. So you have to do what the market is demanding. And but having said that, see, the market is also very, very volatile. You know, the market demand is very volatile. It keeps changing. So you have to see like which wave you want to hold on to, because it also has to, again, like I've been repeatedly saying, complement your value proposition, complement your brand ethos. So if it fits into that, then yeah, hold on to that wave. But I think, of course, like then also there comes where people will tell you like 10 different things. Like, okay, I've heard people recommending me to get into color cosmetics or getting into the hair care category. There have been consumers who come back to us and said that please launch a shampoo, please launch a conditioner, I'm having stress hair fall and stuff like that. So, but you also have to see that how much justice you can do to your brand and to the consumer by getting into, I mean, falling for that demand. So, yeah, I mean, that's really how you kind of strike the balance. You have to put your foot down where it's required, and you also have to follow the way where you think you can do justice to it.
Got it. So tell me, like I've been tried Cereco products, and there's and I've noticed that there's a very like unique scent to it. So like, are Cereco products aromatherapy based? Because it's not a usual smell which I have seen in other skincare products. Like it's something differentiated. So what is it about?
See, the products are not aromatherapy based. I mean, I want to say it's not aromatherapy, it's not Ayurveda, it's completely backed in science. So that's something that I always reiterate. So no, it's not aromatherapy. The scent essentially is only to enhance the consumer experience, because again, consumers want non-scented, fragrance-free products. But what is the consumer psychology? As soon as they apply a fragrance-free product, you give them a product to try, they'll apply, and first thing, they उस पे लिखा है बड़ा बड़ा fragrance free, still they will smell it. That's the first reaction of a consumer. They want it to smell nice. So, and we've seen this. I mean, I did a complete consumer survey on this, a pan-India consumer survey, to understand that fragrance-free or with fragrance. With fragrance products definitely sell better. So, yes, and that's also, I mean, that's a personal, I also feel like I want to smell good. If it's not harming my product efficacy, because all my products go through very, very stringent efficacy testing before they launch, before they're commercialized. We've never, touch wood, received a complaint regarding the product doing any harm to any consumer in any manner. So, because we go through very stringent testing protocol for all the products. So, the fragrance also, the grade of fragrance that we use is very good and compatible with the product. That's made sure of. Completely stable fragrances, and the products are stabilized. So, it just enhances the sensorial and usage, I think, user experience if the product is smelling good and you're smelling nice. So, yeah, I mean, that's about it, but it's definitely not aromatherapy.
And like, does the smell change over time? Sometimes it's like kept in a lot of heat, like Delhi heat is so bad. So sometimes
That's why stability is important, because when stability happens, it's kept in 3 different room temperatures, like different temperatures, different temperature settings, in extreme heat, in extreme cold, and in moderate, to see over a period of 6 months how your product is shifting. And that's what stability essentially is. It's kept in and it's kept in the container in which you're going to sell the product. So before you commercialize, that's what you should do, and we do that for all products, to see that the product doesn't go bad or the fragrance is not shifting, because it's happened. So when one of our products, the fragrance was shifting. after a couple of weeks. And it happened like, I think we were very close to the launch and everything was fine. And then the report came, like somebody from the lab called us and said that the fragrance is shifting, your product is not smelling the same as it did on day one. So yeah, and then we had to rework on that product, and that delayed my launch. This is actually before my first launch only, so it pushed my launch by another couple of months because we had to redevelop that product, and I was like, I'm going to launch everything together.
So Malvika, I have one burning question, I think, from all the girls. Whenever it's something important, our birthday or some special event, we always tend to get acne one day before or the same day. So how can we avoid it?
Okay, so I think, like I mentioned in the starting of the podcast, that stress acne is a very, very real concern. I think your skin smells your fear. So it very often happens that before an important event, your skin starts flaring up. It's again because of the cortisol hormone that your cortisol triggers, which causes a lot of breakouts, skin flaring up issues. So before an important event, instead of kind of hyping it or becoming very hyper about that event, it's best to just calm down and like think about it like, okay, it's just another event and I don't need to really stress. So just stress less, I think, and your skin's going to be great. It's going to look flawless on the D-Day. If you, as less as you think about that event, the better your skin is going to be. And apart from that, of course, goes without saying that keep your diet clean, work out, do proper skincare. Yeah, so.
And use Cereco's calming gel pen.
Absolutely, 100%.
Got it. So, this one question we ask all our guests. What is the best piece of advice you ever received?
Okay, so the best piece of advice I ever received was from my boss, who said that just go for it. If it doesn't work out, we'll find another way. And it'll never be the right time if you don't do it now. So yeah, I think that gave me a lot of reassurance that to just go for it.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Got it. So that's all for the serious questions. One last segment I prepared for our podcast is just one quick rapid fire segment. So let's just get straight. So So let's start. Do you think placebo effect in skincare is real?
Yeah, 100%.
After is the best skincare, myth or a fact?
Absolute fact, 100%. Happy skin, happy mind.
Is influencer marketing overrated?
No.
Name 3 words starting from P related to skincare.
Pores, I don't know. Psychodermatology. And
Pimples.
pimples.
One brand's marketing team you would love to steal.
Swiggy.
Burst one myth related to psychodermatology.
Okay, so it's not a replacement for your therapist, and we're not trying to completely heal all your mental health issues. It's just a kind of a nudge for you to also address your mental health concerns when you're trying to heal your skin.
One skincare tip for Gen X, Gen Z and millennials.
Okay, so for millennials and Gen X, please use retinol, and for Gen Zs, please do not use retinol. Yeah.
And how much would you recommend anyone to use sunscreen on daily basis?
Oh, absolutely 100% all the time, every 3 to 4 hours. I think sunscreen is your best anti-aging. So anybody, and that's a product that Gen Zs, Gen X, millennials, all the generations have to consistently use from day one. Like if you're using nothing, use a sunscreen.
We should put a reminder on our phone too.
Exactly. There are those hydration apps, no? Vaisa, there should be sunscreen reminder apps also. Because like you can't be using so many products that don't go without a complementing sunscreen.
Okay, Malvika, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I hope you had a lovely time.
I did. Absolutely thrilled.
Thank you so much. I hope our audience got something out of this conversation, and head to Cereco's website now and just see how amazingly they are changing the skincare industry.
Thank you.
And see you next week.